Good morning. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Um, this is on the Social Work Short channel, and normally when I kind of go live on a morning, I go live on self-care shorts. So this is our sister channel, brother channel, whatever. It's our other channel. So we're on Social Work Shorts live here, and this is the first one, 1.1. I've called it, and what a nightmare it's been to get on. I was having this problem yesterday morning as well when I was going live on self-care shots. It just wasn't working, and I think I figured it out. I think I figured out what the problem is. So we're all good. I kind of decided a while back that I wanted to do something social work related in the same vein as the self-care stuff that I do. And I suppose if you're stumbling across this, I should tell you who I am. So my name's Stephen Mordew. I've created this shorts idea. So my website's shortsmedia.org. And I think it's important because everybody's busy, no matter what they're trying to do, to kind of give people bite-sized chunks of things that they can kind of take away with them. So, there's nothing more draining, is there, than being told a podcast is particularly good and then deciding to go and listen to that podcast to find each episode's about 2.5 hours long, and you think, well, that's not going to happen. So these are kind of 5, 10, 15 minutes maybe maximum, just to have a chat about things, and they're largely unscripted. I do have a bit of an idea of what I'm going to say, but I kind of get an idea and I just tell you it, and then we're done. Take it away, do what you think, do what you want to do with it. So yeah, I'm a lecturer in social work at Sunderland University, which is why I do this social work short channel as well as the self-care short channel. And I'm interested in self-care from a professional perspective because of burnout and what have you in the social work profession, but also in general, I suppose, self-care in terms of the demands of life and the demands of professional life as well. So there you are. That's what this is all about. And this is the first one of these. I've done podcasts before. There are other videos on the website, on the YouTube channel. But I've never kind of decided to do this live thing on a morning, although I've threatened to for some time. So here it is. And one of the reasons that I got inspired, I suppose, to have a chat this morning is it's induction week at university. It's induction week at university, and we've got lots of new students coming in, lots of students coming back from last year. And I was thinking about what to tell students in induction. And one of the things that people ask is often how can I do better at assignments, and how can I do better with the work I'm doing? So this is kind of 4 reasons why people don't do as well as they could. Now, I want to try and generalize this to social workers as well. So there are some nuggets in here that are maybe relevant to all the work that we're all doing, to be fair. So that's what we're kind of thinking. That's what we're after with this one. So aimed at students, but I'm going to try and kind of merge it into some stuff around just like in general. There you go. So 4 reasons why people don't do as well, or 4 reasons why students don't do as well as they could. And let's see if I can link it to social work. I haven't planned this. I've just thought of that, so I'm going to do this. So the first reason that students often don't do well is they haven't understood the task. So they haven't read maybe the learning outcomes for the task, for the assignment. They maybe haven't read the outline, the kind of task itself. So what we tend to do is give them the learning outcomes and then the task aligned to those learning outcomes, and they haven't quite understood the task. And let's be honest, often that could be the way that me, as the lecturer who has set the task, is describing the task to them. And this does have a parallel with social work practice, and I talk to ASYEs quite a bit, and one of the challenges in early career is that tension of not quite knowing whether you know what you're meant to be doing. And sometimes that's down to us to go and find out about the task and to be clear about the task before we kind of head off to do it. But also there's some onus on me as a lecturer for the students, or on managers um, with their teams, to make sure they've described the task effectively. So one of the reasons that students don't do so well in assignments is they didn't really understand the task. You've got to go and ask somebody, have I got this right? And it's the same, I think, in any sort of role. If you're being asked to do something, have you understood what it is you're meant to be doing? And if you haven't, we have a tendency not to want to look stupid, so we don't ask in that moment. We go away having been told what is required of us, thinking, I've not really got that, not really understood that. I'm not quite sure what I need to do, and then you kind of leave it. You procrastinate about it, and then you have to go back at some later date when the person's like bewildered because, well, I told you this. Why didn't you ask me at the time? So there's that kind of thing. So they haven't understood the task. The second thing, which relates to students and students not doing so well in assignments, is they don't understand the subject matter sufficiently to write the assignment. And I'm constantly saying that students need to read and read and read. And the way to understand the subject matter is to be at the lecture for a start. And this kind of lends itself to one of them things, I suppose, to say that how much can we really tell you in a lecture? And I'd argue not a lot, because we often, because of the time pressures, we often have to extract the main elements from a theoretical idea or a practice idea, or the law. We have to extract the main elements and give you the main elements, but we've very much only given you the main elements. I cover, sometimes in a lecture I might cover 2 or 3 theories, and in covering 2 or 3 theories, I'm covering them for maybe an hour and a half or an hour at times. So we can only give you so much in the lecture, before you have to go and find out for yourself. And it's the same in practice. You need to go and find out. Training can only give you so much. Learning from custom and practice, that professional curiosity, you have to instigate that, because you can only get so much from other people. You have to go out and find stuff out for yourself. So for students, it's read beyond the lecture, read more, read multiple sources, take notes, consolidate those notes, add into your notes, write down what you know. One of my favorite phrases is you don't know what you know till you see what you write. So write stuff down, right? Figure out what the subject matter is for the task. That relies on you needing to understand the task. Figure out what the subject matter is that you require, and then go and find out about it. What have I found out in the lecture? Where are the gaps? And then the third thing is that they haven't written a robust enough plan, because they've started to write a plan before they've done the first 2 points. And often, students get a chance to kind of present the plan to us. And often the plan will just be a rehash of the learning outcomes in the task. And I'll be like, yeah, what you've done there is you've written the learning outcomes down and you've written the task down. You haven't told me what you're going to do with those elements. So you have to do the first 2 parts, understand the task, do the reading, and then your plan plans can be quite detailed. You have to write down what you're going to do with each of those elements. And then the final thing is they haven't left enough time between completing the assignment and handing it in. Because when you think you've completed an assignment, proofreading is absolutely crucial. And you've got to leave some distance between finishing in your head the assignment and handing it in, or reading it again, proofreading it again, so that you are reading it almost as a person who hasn't written it. Because when you read something straight after you've written it, you know what it should say. And if you know what it should say, you'll fill in the gaps and it'll seem logical to you. So what you have to do is leave a gap and read it maybe a few days at least later, when you've kind of forgotten what the detail of what you've written. And then you can kind of say, well, is there enough there so the person can understand what it is I'm writing about? Because sometimes there's some presumed knowledge there, isn't there? So you write something, but there needed to be something written before that kind of thing. So there you go. Got to try this out. This is the first social work shorts live, which is quite exciting. No idea where I'm going to take this, no idea what's going to come next, and that's how social work shorts, self-care shorts, kind of goes. What's on my mind that day, and I'm entering my kind of teaching phase of the year, I suppose. So it'll be things that I'm kind of thinking about as I'm going through that. So 4 reasons why people don't do as well as they could. They haven't understood the task. They don't understand the subject matter fully enough. And that's because they haven't read enough, taken enough notes, read multiple sources. They haven't written a robust enough plan because they've started to write the plan before they've understood the task fully and before they've read the subject matter and understood the subject matter. And then once they've done that and they've written it, they haven't left enough time between completion and hand in. So there you go. I'll be back at some time. We'll see how it goes. But thanks for joining me and having a watch. Come and join me on. Give me a follow. Give me a subscribe. That's always really useful. Give me a subscribe on this channel. That really helps the algorithm. And have a look at find our Self-Care Shorts sister YouTube channel. That's a nice one as well. And I'm on Patreon, and there's lots of nice resources up there for self-care and for social work. So have a look at that. And that's at patreon.com, and it's Stephen J. Mordew. And I'll tell you more about those things as we go. Take care.